Okay, so it is a beautiful day here in Cirencester. It's been about 30 degrees most of the day, and tonight it's meant to be clear as well. So I thought I would take the opportunity to head out and photograph the Milky Way. Now it is about a 50-60% moon tonight, so not great for photographing the Milky Way, but luckily that moon sets at about 12:30. So I'm going to go out later and hopefully I can have an hour or so to capture a Milky Way image. But I'm going somewhere that I've never been before. I'm going to head out to a poppy field, which is quite local to me. It's about 15 minutes away, but because I've never been there before, I thought I would take the opportunity now to drive out there and see what it's like, try and find a composition. So hopefully I can find a composition that will look good with the Milky Way in the background. Maybe if I can find a tree or some nice landscape that includes the poppies, that would be ideal. So I'm gonna head out there now. When I get there, I will show you what I find, and then I will bring you back out later on when I actually am heading out to photograph the Milky Way. Okay, so I'm glad I came out here to check, because that poppy field has now been cut down. So if I'd come out in the middle of the night, it would have been a wasted trip. So what I'm planning to do now is turn around, head back past Hazelton, and hopefully I can find a composition out there. I've been out that way a few times shooting wildlife, and it's a really nice location, just the middle of the countryside. So I'm just going to see what I can find on the drive home. If I find anything, I'll come back tonight. If not, I'll try and find a different location back at home. But definitely going to go out tonight. You just need to find somewhere to shoot. Okay, so I was starting to think it was going to be a bit of a wasted trip, but just on my way back through Hazelton, I came to a place called Turkdean. I've never been before, never even heard of it, but a beautiful little village, and I stumbled upon this view down here. So a classic Cotswold view, nice little valley. Actually, as you can see down there, I don't know if you can pick it up on the GoPro, but there's 4 roe deer down there in the valley at the moment, which is really nice. I might go and see if I can get an image of that on the camera. But this is the view that I've decided to go for tonight. So just a countryside view, nothing amazing, but it should be quite nice with the Milky Way arching over, right over in this direction. But absolutely stunning part of the world. As you can see, glorious day today. Not a cloud in the sky. It looks absolutely amazing here. So hopefully tonight stays clear and I can come back and add a Milky Way to this sort of composition here. I think it will look quite nice. Okay, so I'm back out at my location and I'm just trying to frame up my composition. Now to do that, I usually chuck up a really high ISO, so I've got it on ISO 100,000, and I go for a shorter exposure time. So I'm taking 8-second stubs just to try and frame up my image, and this is what I've come up with. So as you can see, hopefully you can see it on the back of the screen. I'm just back at that location. It's just basically a nice Cotswold view. So there's a bit of a valley, and the Milky Way should be just above that. So yeah, that's kind of how I'm framing the image. My shutter release has decided to back in on me tonight, so I won't be able to use that. So I'm going to stand here manually and press the trigger. I'm going to try and take about 30 images for the sky, and then I'm going to potentially try and take a longer exposure for the foreground, but I'm not sure how I'm going to do that without the cable release, but I will give it a go. I'm going to get my sky exposures now, and yeah, I'll show you what it looks like on the back of the screen. Okay, so I think I'm finished with the image now. I've managed to connect my phone to the camera and control the camera in bulb mode through my phone, which I've never done before, so I'm quite pleased I was able to work out how to do that. But I managed to do that to get a long exposure for the foreground. So I got a 2-minute exposure for the foreground. I'll show you here, or roughly 2-minute exposure. There was no timer, so I had to count. How many seconds was it? 154 seconds, so I was way off. So I can't count to 120, but anyway, 154 second exposure for the foreground. And then this is what the images were looking like for the stars. And let me just turn this off so you can see. So the stars, not sure how well you can see that, but the stars were looking quite nice. There's quite a lot of light pollution on the horizon, which I was quite surprised about because we're in the middle of nowhere really, but I think that light pollution is coming from Bourton on the Water or Stow on the Wold. So more light pollution than I'd hoped. I thought it was much darker than it is out here, but might be able to pull a half decent image out of it. So I'll put that up on screen now. I'm going to drive around and see if any other compositions, or I can find any other compositions. There was one that I saw earlier which might work out, so I'm going to give that a go. But yeah, I'll put the camera back in the bag now and head back to the car. Okay, so I'm at my next location now and I've taken my image and I'm really quite pleased with it. Now this is one that I found earlier today and I definitely wouldn't have just stumbled on it when I was out tonight because it is quite hidden. So I pulled into a lay-by earlier and I saw this style here. Now we're on a public footpath here, so this style does lead into a public footpath, but it doesn't look like it's been used in quite a few years. But I just thought it would be quite nice if I could line this up with the Milky Way. Now I wasn't quite sure whether it would work. It looked like it would on the augmented reality in the Sky Guide app, but I wasn't quite sure whether it would look quite nice on the back of the camera. But anyway, I pulled in to give it a go and I managed to get quite a nice image. So as you can see, I've gone vertical here for this one, and I've taken a 3-minute long exposure for the foreground, so that's just exposing for the style and the field. And there's quite a nice tree here on the horizon as well, which I really like. And then as you can see, the Milky Way arches right over the top. So again, this is the same situation as last time, taking lots of exposures for the sky, which I'm going to stack in post-processing. I think I took about 30 for this image, and then one longer exposure for the foreground, which I'm going to combine in Photoshop. So yeah, really pleased with this photo. I think it's actually nicer than the initial photo I took. A little bit more interest. I think the first photo is probably just a bit like just a field and the Milky Way. But there's one more stop I'm going to make on the way home. I saw this old dilapidated barn which I might try and photograph as well. I don't know whether that one will work out, but I'll bring the camera back out and show you anyway. Okay, so this is me driving around trying to find a barn in the middle of the night when I didn't know its exact location, which proved to be a bit of a challenge, but after a few wrong turns I eventually stumbled upon it. I also recorded a piece to camera, but unfortunately the GoPro corrupted that file, so that has been lost. And I'm sure what I was saying at 2:15 in the middle of a field was absolute gold dust, but unfortunately I won't be able to share that with you now. But this image is basically just a dilapidated barn with the Milky Way in the background, but it actually turned out to be one of my favorite images of the night. So I'll put that up on screen now, and please do let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Okay, so it's 2:30 now and I'm done for the night, and I'm just about to head home and get some sleep. So I just wanted to say a massive thank you for watching. Thanks for sticking with the video. I know it might be a little bit long, but I hope you like the images. But I also just thought I'd say how important it is to actually get out and scout locations, because I've not been to any of those villages before. Even though I live 20 minutes down the road, I had no idea these places were here. I'd never been to Turkdean. I'd never really been to Horling before. I've been to the outskirts, but I'd never driven through it. I wouldn't have seen that style, I wouldn't have seen that barn or the first image either. So get out, drive around, look for new images, because there's only a certain amount of images you can actually find on the internet. But I hope you liked the video. Thank you so much for watching. Please hit that like button if you've enjoyed it, and I will see you in the next video, which will be back in the garden photographing a deep space object. Cheers.